What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the playoff edition, week 14 of the countdown, of the novice countdown, and I'm your host for the first time, Phone, and I'm here with some of my guests. Introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Anti-Crystal, off-tank for OTW.
Hi, I'm returning guest for the third time, Maverick, manager of Flat.
Hello, this is the second time return, Alucard. I'm the Torbjorn specialist for Hyperflex.
So getting into our the quarter rounds of games for the novice playoffs, we had Geo winning in a 3-0 against Rio Redemption, which made Rio the, I believe, only team in League Zero history to go and to not win a game the entire season. They went 0-11.
Winless. It's unfortunate.
They say undefeated is when you don't lose, but defeated is when you don't win.
Absolutely defeated.
So
Lucky,
I guess
honestly.
no one here is on either of those teams, but what did you guys notice, as if you guys did watch it, or as in the players, what do you think, why was it a 3-0, and just what kind of happened?
Geometric
strong
team, Rio Redemption not strong team.
That's a very,
Yeah.
it's a very good way of putting it. In my opinion, looking at both teams, Rio has a lot of very strong parts, but they've never been able to put it together all season. And outside of that, Geo, late season, they've been getting stronger. They were very strong at the beginning. They kind of fell off in the middle. They're getting stronger again in the postseason. They have a chance here to beat One Trick this week, but they did a really good job keeping it together against Rio.
I also forgot to mention the player of the match for that was Silent Sword, and as from here, there was no honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really know who, of course I watched the novice game and paid attention to the novice, but I didn't really, know how good Silent Sword was until, the last couple weeks of the season.
He really didn't start playing until I think week 6-ish.
Yeah,
He
Yes.
was a late season pickup for Geo.
yeah.
Alpha Omega with Flat Chat.
Rip creep.
And then moving on to the second match of the quarters, we had Hyperflex getting the reverse sweep off Placha in a 3-2, with player of the match being Herping Yoshi and the honorable mention being Sad Boy. So we have Baggy here from Hyperflex, and we have Maverick here from Platchat. If either of you want to comment on the game, feel free.
You want to go first since you guys won?
My Wi-Fi almost trolled. So that was pretty cool. And Herping Yoshi kind of just carried, and Sad Boy clicked heads, so that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, coming from the perspective of the losing side, there were a lot of problems that Flat Chat had with morale on our end after the second map, actually, where we won on Hana. We had a lot of morale problems. I'm not trying to diminish the win Hyperflex got because they did a very good job. They played with our strengths, they exploited our weaknesses, they played very well. But we had a lot of problems internally at that point, and we could have played a lot better. But Yoshi and Sad Boy did a lot for their team. Specifically, I want to call out Sad Boy. I think he should have been player of the match. No offense to Yoshi, you're a great player too. I just think they should have been swapped, in my opinion.
Yeah, I really feel like it's just common opinion, or just general opinion that it's either one of those two.
Yeah.
They both did really well.
They played really well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I just like Sad Boy's 1v1 with the turret. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, when
Yeah,
you
I think watching the game, after the reverse sweeps started happening, it looked like just Flat Chat lost their morale a lot, and they just it felt like they started playing worse. And I felt like, especially there was one point on the last map, I wasn't fully watching the game, but I was for the most part because I had to do something at the same time. And I flicked back to the screen and I saw Vaporeon throw a grab into Yoshi's
DM.
whatever
Grass.
that ability's called. Yeah.
Grass.
And I think from that you could just see that the Platchat players, they looked really demoralized and they were just I felt like they kind of gave up at that point.
We
Yeah.
had a lot of
Yeah, I feel
morale
it's a lot
problems.
of pressure and stress, and since like Maverick says, they're having morale problems. I can see that happening. It's fine. People make mistakes when they're under pressure, especially when everybody's kind of boomed, so it's fine. I mean, Fletch still
One
played
way
really
or
well,
another.
so
One way or another, it was probably the best game. At least it was definitely between Geo and Rio and Flatchat and Hyperflex. It was a better match, but it's probably going to be one of the best matches in the playoff. The only other match I could see living up to that really would be either One Trick versus Geo, or if they both make the finals, One Trick versus Wisdom.
I think that personally that One Trick, no matter what the finals is, it's either gonna be, especially for like the Wisdom versus Hyperflex in the semifinals this week, you have either Hyperflex, the meme team themselves, going like barely, not I wouldn't say barely making playoffs, but fifth seed, and going to the finals, and then you have Wisdom, who's like undefeated the entire season, and it's just like the story. It's kind of like the Vancouver Titans season 2 of Overwatch League. It's like they won they won everything, even though they didn't go undefeated. They were still the dominant team, and they made the finals.
Yeah.
So this week, the semifinals will be, I think, a very good set of matches.
I just want to see a Hyperflex versus Shitometric Grand Finals. That sounds like fun.
Oh, yikes.
Smurfometric.
Yikes.
Let's not get into that.
I know. I will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But should we look at the predictions for next week, you think?
Yeah. So the predictions we had for the starting off with the Wisdom Academy versus Hyperflex game, we had me predicting a 3-0, Maverick predicting a 3-0, Alucard. Wait, Alucard.
Alucard can, because he's Hyperflex.
I'm affiliated with the match, so I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Oh yeah.
Same with Anti in the.
I honestly got confused for a second because your name's Baggy and then Alucard. I forgot you're the same person. So Alucard obviously can't because he's part of the team. Then you have Anticrystal with the 3-2. So I guess for Maverick and Anticrystal, what opinions do you have on that match?
For me specifically, well, I do think Hyperflex played very well against Flatchat. Like I said, they exploited our weaknesses and played their. I don't think that they're going to be able to get away with the same stuff that they got away with. Plus, Wisdom is easily probably the best team in Novice right now, even without their off-tank Splash having to sub in other players to play off-tank. They still have probably the. Anyway, they've got one of the strongest rosters on paper and in practice. I don't see Hyperflex getting away with the strats they ran against us. I just think Wisdom's gonna. They're gonna win. That's if Hyperflex comes out and wins, that's gonna be an incredible win, and then at that point, I would predict Hyperflex to win the entire thing if they can beat Wisdom. But I just don't see it happening personally.
Hmm.
I put 3-2 because I trust. I feel like if they all play at their best, they can bring it to a final map, and especially if I honestly think if they run what they did last time and they make it a bit better, I think they can make it work. It's just the issue of if when Wisdom learns what they're doing, then like I see Hyperflex like going up 2-1 and then Wisdom bringing it back after learning how to counter what they're doing.
Hmm. I personally said 3-0 because when I looked at the game of Plotchat versus Hyperflex, Hyperflex basically played, or they kind of like one-tricked the comp almost. Wasn't it like double shield, pharmacy, Ash, or something like that?
That was basically all they played, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
like
they played well, but
one thing I noticed that in the beginning of the game, it's like they tried to do other stuff, but then right as they found out that that's the comp that works, they just did that the entire rest of the match. They like never swapped out unless for stall.
Well, I mean, that was the comp that we've been practicing all week, and the only reason why we didn't run it the first 2 maps was because the person that we practiced it with, my internet said I'm about to head out. And
yeah, Drowsy had to come back and fill.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Drowsy hadn't warmed up that day, and he hadn't played far with us for a majority of the week. So, you know, that was part of the reason why we probably tried to play something different.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. and getting on to our second game of the semifinals, we have One Trick Wonders, who is the number 2 seed, facing off against Geometric, who is the 3 seed. I predicted a 3-2, Maverick predicted a 3-1, Alucard predicted a 2-3, and Intercrystal is obviously on One Trick, cannot vote. Any, Maverick or Alucard, you got any backup for your prediction?
I went first last time. You go ahead, Alucard.
Nope.
Okay, I guess I will. So I have played against, or not I, but my team has played against both Geometric and Flat, and One Trick Wonders. I can't talk right now, sorry. But if you look at the two matches, where both cases Flat came out on top during the regular season, I'm not trying to brag, I'm just trying to give a comparison. You have the One Trick Wonders game where it went to 6 maps, the first 6-map set of League Zero history, and then you have the Geometric match in which the final map, Flatchat, rolled over Geometric. There was no competition. And comparing the two teams, I personally feel like that is representative of the fact that One Trick is a stronger team. They may run unusual comps sometimes, like running Bash and stuff like that, but they play it well, and they have very strong people on every role. They may not have really had any role stars come through. They have Anti who's a runner-up for off-tank, but they have very strong people on every role. They don't really have a weak spot, and I don't see Geo really being able to compete with them on every map. I see Geo being able to squeak out a win on one map, maybe two, but I see One Trick as just a stronger team overall on their fundamentals.
I think in terms of One Trick, I do think they have the better tank line. DPS,
Oh, yeah.
DPS is can be kind of questionable sometimes, but I do think the tank do think the tank line is probably one of the, if not their most consistent asset for the team, because like you have the MV candidate in Anticrystal and the Vantage, who was awarded best main tank of the entire season. So I do think that the tank line is really strong for One Trick, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what wins them the match against Geometric. I said 3-2 personally because Geometric, they do have pieces that can, I think, and will contend against One Trick, but I do think One Trick is a better team in whole. Like sometimes they can have bad mentals, but I do think that One Trick is just the better team.
I think for Geometric to really compete alongside One Trick, the win condition for them is going to be things that aren't easily countered by One Trick with their roster. With the departure of KTO, One Trick doesn't have the best long-range hitscan players in the league. They have Repeat, who's an incredible flex DPS. They have Blazing Blade. They have Martini. But as far as I know, none of them really play the Blazing Blade may play the Widowmaker to an extent, or maybe the Ashe, but you have Alianos and SD Awesome, who both play a lot of those long-range hit scans, so if they're not careful and they don't play their comp and their strats to their strengths, they may end up getting hard countered, and they may get pushed to a map 5.
Yeah, I do think that is very reasonable. And does anyone else have anything else to comment about this match or either of the matches in general?
I guess not.
I guess for
I guess not.
I guess not. So I guess for this week, week 14 of the countdown, unless you guys have any other do you guys have any other talking points you want to go over?
I guess for me, I wanted to say thanks to the league, the staff, for giving me the opportunity to be a manager, because I'm not really a part of this anymore, but I appreciate it, and I'm really excited to see how the rest of the playoffs go for Novice. And if you aren't watching Novice, what are you doing?
The advanced players be laughing at this right now.
That's fine.
Yeah, whatever. But again, thank you all for watching. Thank you, Anticrystal Maverick and Alucard, for coming out. This has been the Novice edition of Countdown Week 14 semifinals, and I hope you all have a great day.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the intermediate part of the countdown. My name is Pooter Scooter. I'm joined here with Snipes.
Ooh.
Jolt.
Genji One Trick here.
And Alligator Andre.
Hello.
Let's go to the first game of the playoffs, which is Powerhouse versus DC. Powerhouse won 3-2, with the player of the match being Dad, and the honorable mentions being Grape and Pew Pew.
When I watched this game, like from being like a former DC member, like I was very surprised that they were able to go toe to toe with Powerhouse that well without Don Bongo or anyone like that. Because like Don Bongo was like one of their it was their main tech they've been scrimming with almost the entire week, and for them too. It must have been really hard for them to lose that that player so like right before playoffs.
Yeah.
It probably hurt their just their general team play by not having that shot caller in, but it was really surprising. They almost took map 5 from them.
Yeah, and I want to say that DC has been looking very strong for the past couple of weeks. And I honestly thought that they could have beaten Powerhouse, but Powerhouse won. And yeah.
Yeah, DC has been looking very strong. Like, despite the fact that they had Don Bongo, most aspects of their team have been looking great. And so, like, to see one component taken out that's a very key component, and they can still go toe-to-toe with Powerhouse, it was kind of a shock to all of us.
Yeah. Alright, moving on to the next game. It is Vitalize versus Wait What. Vitalize won 3-2, and the player of the match was Jolt. Congrats, Jolt.
Sure.
And Jolt, do you have any insight of how the game happened, and like what were your comms when it was a 5th map and stuff like that? Blah 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 blah.
After the second map, our comms were like kind of boomed, but at the same time, like we were like, bro, this is the start of the reverse sweep. We were like getting ourselves hyped up, like we weren't gonna go down fucking quiet. Sorry for the cuss word. Sorry.
I don't care.
But
yeah.
Like we weren't gonna go down quiet, and basically I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna play Genji. But it's just, like on Icon Wall, we were just all picking Cuprum picks. At that point, and we barely won. And after that, it was kind of just like a steamroll.
Yeah. How were like your comms like right when you won map 5? Were you guys like happy, like
Static
Yeah.
and cluttered. Those are 2 words I can best describe those comms.
Alright.
And really loud.
Nice. Alright, moving on to the next game. It will be Shanghai Sellouts versus CDC. Shanghai Sellouts won 3-1, with the player of the match being Madam, and the honorable mention being Snipes. Congrats, Snipes.
Thank you.
And, Snipes, do you have any insight about the game?
We played very well the first 2 maps, and then we lost all of our structure into our team play on Kings Row. But then we brought it back on Gibraltar, where I got 81% KP on Ash.
Nice. Yeah.
Also want to let it be known, on Icon Wall, I got a 69% co-participation on Genji.
Oh yeah.
He's got the W there. He's got the 69.
Yeah, like there's no way we're gonna lose after that.
Dude,
I mean,
anything more or less and you're throwing, alright?
Honestly.
Yeah. Alright. Moving on to the next game, it will be Yoink and Papega Parrots. Yoink won 3-0. The player of the match was Luxy, and the honorable mention was Raging Cool. I just want to say, before we go on to Alligator Andre, that I personally watched this game live, and in my opinion, it was a pretty much a roll. Papega Parrots, with all of their MVPs, just got demolished by Yoink. Like, Yoink is actually looking very, very good. Alright, Alligator Andre, we get any insight?
So for the most part, we just scrimmed hard. We looked at whatever VODs that we could find. Some were like gone, but you know, there was an important VOD that we found, the Nader VOD, when they paid to have coaching. I'm guessing they didn't have like consistent coaching, But for the most part, we basically got from that VOD that they wanted to play aggressive, and so as long as we took tempo, they didn't know what to do, and we took tempo from the start, 200-0, and it just went on from there. We just rode it all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I also got to say that this is the only game out of all of the games that was an actual roll that one team was 100% dominant over the other.
Dude, Luxie's insane, so it's like everyone
Yeah.
else, they're all just insane. I'm watching,
Yeah.
they're scrimming right now, I'm watching it, and they're just insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I saw from the side of Papega Parents is that Jeff, like, you know, Vitalize has a bunch of coaches from Papega Parents right now. So, like, basically what they were saying is that Jeff was fucking throwing the whole time.
Yeah, he was playing a little too, like, aggressive
Fine.
compared to the rate that the rest of them wanted to play.
Probably because they were more in that mindset of playing aggro and they
Yeah.
just weren't ready for it.
They seem to, like, not be in agreement of how they wanted to play, and when your main tank especially is in disagreement, Yoink found that out early on, that, you know, you need all 6 on the same page, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's easy to see.
Yeah. Moving on to the predictions now. The first game will be Vitalize versus Yoink. Only 2 of us can vote on this one because 2 people on the countdown are from Vitalize and Yoink. Snipes and I both believe that Yoink will win 3-2. But I believe that since Vitalize did beat Wait What, and Wait What was a very good team, that they also have a chance to win and make it to the finals. Jules and Alligator Andre, can I just get some insight of how you're, how you're preparing for the game? My bad.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. For us personally, we are practicing, like, off the Genji comps right now. Just so I can have something to flex onto if something's not working. That's basically what I'm working on right now. But also, I gotta give a big shout out to my boy Cheddar, the May player. He was basically doing the job of making sure all of Wait What's, like, flankers and, like, making sure the front line was okay. He was basically doing all the jobs that I, you know, couldn't do that well on Genji. So I can just focus on killing, basically, and farming ult charge.
Mm-hmm.
Huge shout out to him. He is insane.
Yeah.
Although, he really does not like playing May. Yeah.
Yeah. Alligator Andre, can we just get insight from Yoink's side?
So, especially after performance against Papega, we're very confident with our May gameplay. Acid has improved a ton. Raging is insane on the Reaper, Ashe, Kree. So we're very confident on that aspect. We're just improving upon that too as we scrim. And then we're also looking to try and improve our counter against what they ran against Wait What to win their reverse sweep, which is like the Genji comps that they ran. So, you know, countering dive will be a key aspect to what we do, and so, yeah.
Yeah, just make sure you guys are playing Lucio for most of the game, and make sure you don't get Ajaxed. That's basically the one thing I can say to you. It's pretty obvious, but just don't use beat for anything else besides Nanoblade, and you guys should be fine against us.
Yeah, we're preparing our best. We're working all aspects to just full-on counter everything, and yeah.
Are you gonna write another 15-page VOD review for us?
I don't know why people thought we did that. If anything, I wrote the most, and it was at most, like, if you put it into a Google Doc, it was at the most, like, a page and a half, and that was just from the Nader VOD, which is, like, 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't... people were thinking that we went all, like, going after our doctorates to try and counter Papega. No, we just played Overwatch.
That's basically what Vitalize is gonna do. We haven't wrote shit against Yoink, being real. Because, like, we just never played against you guys.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to counter a team that's in a different division.
But we're carrying the torch. Vitalize will never die.
Yeah.
After I saw that that CDC lost and DC lost, I was like, okay, well, let's just hope Vitalize makes it so they can have one team to cheer on.
Yeah.
You guys pulled it off.
I also want to say that Goats Only was partnered with Vitalize and Wisdom, and they're both still in the playoffs, while Goats Only is well, anyways, that's why I think Vitalize does have a pretty good chance of making it to the finals and winning. Smile. Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
Young
go.
doesn't think so.
Oh. All right. Next game is Shanghai Sellouts versus Powerhouse. The three people that can predict on this game, I forgot the word, believe that Shanghai is going to win. Snipes, can we just get some insight of how you're preparing for the game?
Having multiple comps to rely on too. So if they run out on something, we can swap to counter it. Because if they come out with a counter, we don't want to be stuck in a one trick and then have to go to a random comp.
Yeah.
That's what Vitalize is doing as well.
Yeah, and Powerhouse is the only team that's ever beat us. So
Oh yeah.
we gotta settle this.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing really that much more to say. Just, I believe that Shanghai is just a stronger team than Powerhouse at the moment. That's about it.
Yeah, for the most part, I'd agree.
Yeah. Alright. So that is the end of the intermediate part of the countdown. Do you guys have any final words to say? I'm guessing that's a no.
Yeah,
Follow
no
their Arabic Yoink Twitter. I don't know the thing. But
You don't know
yeah,
the Twitter
there's
handle?
that. I don't know the Twitter. I don't go much on social media. I just know follow the Yoink Arabic Twitter.
Alright, well, see you guys next week.
See ya.
What is happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the advanced section of the countdown for the quarterfinals. I'm tired. I'm going to be a lot lower energy today. But regardless, we have some guests for you today. One of them you've seen a few other times on the show. But first, we got Client/Eden from Flushed, off tank.
What's up?
We got the advanced MVP himself, Zero, returning for the third time. Second
Hey,
time.
let's go! 3-time champion.
Second time on this segment. He got a whole weekly segment to himself. And then we have the manager of Guangzhou, Snowman, here.
Wow, I feel so honored to be with so many amazing people, and then there's just me and my trash team here.
I was half expecting you to say, like, there's so many amazing people, and then there's Zero. I don't know why. Anyways, this past weekend was kind of interesting. Not so much in terms of, oh, these games were close, as much as these games were memes, and they were fun to watch.
Pretty much, yeah.
First game was Flesh versus Goats Only, 3-0, no surprise there. Player of the match, Ultra, honorable mention out to Zira. And some interesting compositions being played against this one. It looks like everyone was just having fun, but like either Zira or Eden wanna talk about the thought process behind some of your comps you ran?
Well, we got two compositions on our hands, made by me and Flawless from the Guangzhou Gangsters. So basically, we came up with them in our plat games, like any good composition is made. First one is called Bitchfield. That's our bread and butter comp. That's our favorite composition. I don't want to get into the specifics because it's classified information. But the next composition, which we didn't really use too much, but it's in our sleeves in case we need it. It's a good trick. It's Bangarang. And then the third and final one, which we have yet to use yet, but it'll come out maybe in finals or something if we need it, is Bang a Bitch. So those are the three competitions we got going for us.
Oh my god. Yeah, definitely go back and rewatch that VOD if you want to see, if you want to not understand what the hell's going on, but just kind of enjoy it for what it is. A lot of off-meta stuff. Goats Only seemed like they were having fun too, which is a good thing. You know, they worked really hard to get in the playoffs. Might as well have a bit of fun while the de facto London Spitfire Season 1 are just rolling through. But yeah. You guys look dominant. no real surprise there. I think this was exactly what everyone was expecting coming out of the quarters. Coming into the semis, there might be some chance for some upsets, but we'll get into that in a little bit. The other match, which is the one that I hosted, and I was laughing a lot in this matchup, was Newt versus Guangzhou. I don't think either team took it particularly serious after like halfway through the first map. Possibly not even in the first map. But you saw a lot of Widow from Dave B, saw a good amount of Widow from Jazza. Actually, I think you saw a little bit of Widow from Kaigo as well on King's Row. The Widow duels were absolutely hilarious. They were the dumbest things ever, but it was really funny to watch. Sure enough, Newt did take it 3-0, however. With EOC getting player of the match, Kaigo getting honorable mention. Yeah. Snowman, you wanna comment? I remember after the match, I think you said it was the most fun you've had watching your team.
Yeah, well, first off, another thing that we saw a lot of, I'm not sure if the viewers saw it, was a lot of Minecraft facts in chat. We had a document full of them, and Newt's kind of started molding due to the Minecraft facts, and they wanted us to get like I don't know, trying to rulebook us, something of course we wouldn't do.
Yeah.
Going into the week, we had only like 2 scrims, and since we went under the player limit of 8, we got to pick up a main tank. We picked him up, and then he told us like 2 days before the game that he couldn't come, so engage on main tank, who plays main support. We kind of just trolled. First map we took it sort of seriously, and we did like alright. We didn't expect to like do anything good, but I think one time we took it to 99 on one of the control points, and then we kind of just screwed around from there. So yeah.
The stream couldn't see the match chat, but who was it? Seiyun was just copy pasting like a whole bunch of Minecraft facts. Except he would do it like in between rounds, and it would just flood match chat. And it's like, okay, I need to actually see if there's pauses. So at a certain point, I had to say like, okay, just don't like spam them nonstop. This isn't Twitch chat. But yeah, it was rather fun. Honestly, this game was hilarious, especially the last map when there was just Widow duel after Widow duel, and it was like the dumbest possible positionings, and like they were just YOLOing 24/7. It was really funny though. I'd honestly recommend watching both of these matches, not because they're good matches, mechanically speaking, but just like they're funny to watch. So yeah, unless anyone has anything else to say about that, but I can't imagine you do. Not much to say. So let's move over to the predictions. So for those who don't know, Easy Clap being the top seed, they got to choose their opponent for the semifinals, and they had the choice between Flushed and Newt. They chose Newt because, quote, Flushed is for the finals. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out for them. Obviously, Newt coming into this somewhat of a dark horse, obviously considered by many to be the 3rd best team in the league right now, behind only Flushed. Who was saying something? I heard someone unmute briefly, but I wasn't looking at Discord.
Yeah, Noose is probably the 3rd best team. They could do stuff against Easy Clap though. That'd be a good match.
Yeah, possibly. And looking at all of our predictions, I think Easy Clap will take it 3-1. I could possibly see a 3-2. It kind of depends on who shows up to Easy Clap. Snowman thinks Easy Clap will take it 3-0. Zira actually thinks Newts can take it in map 5, and Eden thinks Easy Clap will take it in map 5. And actually, Zira, you brought up an interesting point before we started recording, is that you don't even know if Wannabe's gonna come back to Easy Clap, because for those who don't know, he is starter/sub. I don't know what he's the only hit scan on Scion Esports, who recently made it to Trials. I don't think they made it through Trials. I think they got like 8th through 12th, somewhere in that range. But I mean, making it to Trials by itself is pretty damn good.
Yeah, no. I mean, they played an awfully close match versus Team Doge, which is literally Envy. So, and Wannabe was starting in that game, and he played really well. So I just don't think he would actually like just want to come back to Easy Clap. I just don't think he's interested in it. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think without Wannabe, I think Easy Clap is pretty vulnerable. While they still have good players like Yusuf and Koodle and Falcon and players like them, I mean, I think it's gonna be a lot tougher for Easy Clap to pull out the win.
Yeah, I can
Especially with Gag Band. Because, like, if Wannabe's not there and Gag's banned,
Gag's
literally,
oh,
who are you going to put on DPS? You can put Endless on off tank and Falcon on DPS. Like, actually, what are you going to do? Like,
Wait, no, they could put. Well, they played something once where it was like Colby on flex support and then.
Plasma on DPS.
No, they'd have.
Or no, it was Cal. It was Cal on DPS.
Yeah, Cal played McCree, and he's
That's
actually
probably-
pretty nasty.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what you're gonna have to do, but still, like, I mean, Easy Clap or Newt still like a pretty good team. So I don't know if that's gonna work against them. Maybe against Flock, because I mean, literally everybody and their mother could speedrun Flock. But Newt, I don't know about Newt.
Man, for what they are, the Flock is actually not a bad team. Like, they're pretty solidly mid-table right now, but like they're just kind of up against a bunch of Goliaths at this point in the season. So I'm not sure how far they can make it much longer. And actually, sure enough,
Peter made me mad.
Going to that match, might as well. The two people here that can predict, both predict that Flushed will take it 3-0. Obviously, Zera and Eden are going to be facing the Flock. They're both on Flushed. So I'm sure they're confident in, unless they decide to throw a map, going 3-0. Honestly, like, the Flock, like I said, isn't bad, but like the level of competition at this point is on a different level that they really haven't been able to go up against. I mean, technically they beat Newt once early season, but that was kind of when half of their team wanted to leave. Most of them to go to Flushed. So
yeah. I mean, hey Peter, talk shit, get hit. Just be ready for that 3-0. We don't want to give you any maps. Yeah, no. Before our match against them, last time he came into my practice range and was talking shit, and then before the match started, he talked shit too, and then they lost in like 25 minutes. So I don't want to hear anything.
Isn't that like the speedrun record?
Yeah, that was literally speedrun record. Yep. Or at least for League Zero, but
I think the one team might have gotten like within 30 seconds of your speedrun. I forget.
I'm pretty sure our match was faster.
Yeah, no, our record was 23 minutes. That's our record.
I think someone, it might have been
I think
got like 23 and a half.
That time.
Yeah, that was ours, 23 and a half. I'm pretty sure Owl got 23 something, but still.
Yeah, we're actually getting picked up by the Vancouver Titans. I figured I'd say it.
Yeah, you just gotta say it ahead of time.
You just need to get your fake ID so they think you're 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I ran into Nero the other day in quick play, and he said he'll let me win the quick play match, but I gotta let him win the Flock match.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we gotta win League Zero first, and then we're gonna win the Overwatch League.
Yes, of course.
Man, the Overwatch League has to survive long enough for you guys to actually get a chance. Well, I guess Client, you're like, what, 16?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, Zero has to wait like a whole 5 years, so...
Man, screw this 18 plus rule. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually like lowered it, because like, I feel like there are gonna be players that move on to
like
other teams.
legally allowed to.
Really? Maybe not.
They can, but Blizzard probably doesn't want to, because the Tier 1 scene has like... It's really tricky to get a minor in a contract like that. It's a lot easier to get them in like the Contenders contracts where it's seasonal based.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why the Contenders thing, I think, is like 13 minimum age. So I think it used to be 13.
Yeah, Sugar Free entered Contenders when he was 13. And that's my age right now.
Well, he's not in Overwatch anymore, so...
yeah.
Did he go to Valorant, or he just like...
He went to Val, yeah.
Chosher.
Oh.
Who would have thought, man?
But yeah, some potentially interesting matches this weekend. I'd like to see the Flock put up a good fight. They're not a bad team, but like, it's gonna be rough when you're facing arguably who might be the new best team in Advanced, depending on how Easy Clap decides to show up, depending on if Newt decides to just hit their stride at the right time. But yeah, they're gonna have an uphill battle. I think the Newt versus Easy Clap game will be hopefully close in some aspects. Who knows? I think almost regardless of a mythology plays or not, like even if Ben's starting, they're gonna have a pretty decent chance on just about every matchup. Like obviously Easy Clap has the upper hand if you're just comparing players to their direct counterparts. But like obviously Nude also has a lot better teamwork. But yeah, that's
Yeah, I think you kind of gotta play Mythology. I'm gonna be honest. Mythology's a really smart player. He has that experience, and while Ben's kind of, or at least from my knowledge, has not really like gone outside of League Zero. While Mythology, literally 4.5 peak, made OD playoffs, and it's like the only main support, in my opinion, in this league that can like compare to Baz or even be better than Baz. So I think if you really want to win, I think you gotta make the play and like start Mythology, because from my knowledge he's not starting, and that I think is a bit of a stupid move.
I think he's been unavailable these past few weeks because he was in OD trials as well, I think. Or he just
no, he wasn't. He didn't play in this OD season. I think it was last OD season that
Did he? I thought
he was. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he told me he shows up to New scrims and just doesn't play.
Oh.
I was like, this is just not the
Does
play,
he-
man.
Not play, or
What?
He kind of
does
cut
he
off.
choose to not play? Like, is he permabenching
No,
himself? Or...
he didn't.
No.
No, he just shows up to scrims and then
He wants to stay on the bench so we can coach him in game.
Yeah, true,
Yeah,
true.
Low blow.
We're
Yeah,
never gonna let
he
him.
does seem to be taking a
Yeah.
coaching role for Newt as well. I think also they have a lot of synergy with Ben at this point. Like Newt has a really weird aggressive style where like Ben in particular will just go straight up in the enemy tank's face. I'm not sure if that's gonna work against Yusuf and whoever else decides to play off tank, but like he can try.
Oh, I mean, if it works, it's gonna tilt him.
It will. Having
So-
Lucio in your face 24/7.
That might be the play.
Yeah, who knows? Plus Kaigo tends to be using the Tracer a lot more from what I've seen. He used it a lot during this past weekend. I think he used
Kaigo?
it. Yeah, Kaigo.
Oh, isn't he that guy that we made rage quit our warm up scrim? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that one! Oh, that Kaigo! Oh, my bad. I thought you were talking about a different Kaigo. Never mind.
He
Sorry.
got rolled by Bitchfield so hard he left.
Bitchfield the calm.
But yeah, you guys can worry about Newt 2 weeks from now, I guess, or next week. I don't know. You know what I mean? Finals if they make it, if both of you make it that far. So yeah, that's kind of all I've got. Short episode. Actually, you know what? I think I have one more question that I want to hear you guys' answer to. So, for these games, obviously, you already gave your predictions as to who you think is going to win. But for those teams that you think are going to win, who do you think is going to be like the standout player that pushes their team over the edge? Especially, I'm very curious for like the Easy Clap Newt game in particular.
Jazza.
Yeah, Jazza, and if they play Myth.
I mean, think
And
about
Falfo,
it.
actually.
Like,
Falfo.
if Wannabe doesn't show up, right? Like, who's gonna contest Jazza on the Widow? If Jazza just is uncontested, he can fuck you up. So.
I almost feel like
yeah.
Kudo would just decide, hey, I'm gonna play Widow now.
Kudos
Sure.
Widow's not his best, definitely not. Neither is his Tracer. I think Jazza can just dome him. Because, like, even if I recall correctly, back in the other Easy Clap Nudie match, Jazza was actually kind of popping on Wannabe. Or at least he was playing well against Wannabe.
He was
Which
pretty
I
much
think-
even with Wannabe, yeah.
Yeah, which is actually, like, that's not easy to pull off, so I think...
I mean, I might be able to do it if we put me on hit scan. but
yeah, of course, sure, man.
that might not happen.
Good one, bro.
Snowman, who do you think will put Easy Clap over the edge, or anyone on Newt?
Well, I'll be honest. We never scrimmed Easy Clap, and I don't watch the games. But I do know they have Koodle, so I'll just say Koodle. I don't really know who else they have though. But
Yeah,
Avoid Cal.
hopefully they win. I know they have Wannabe, but he's not gonna be there most likely. So
He might.
Yeah,
I don't know, it
we'll see.
depends. Does he have anything
for
going on this weekend?
I mean, hey, Sion's on that grind, you know.
I mean, yeah, if I was starting on a trials team, I'd probably show up to
Confident.
scrims instead of a League Zero match.
Well, no, they would have made it to contenders, but they got reverse swept by dark mode. Like they actually would have made it, but like they were one map
Yeah.
away, basically. Also, yeah, it's just literally like if Nuni like, you know, they have Mythology, they have Jazza, they have Bufalafo. Buffalofo and Mythology is arguably like the best support line in the league, besides maybe like Swift and Baz. If they can carry, they're gonna be the players to watch out for on Unia. And then on Easy Clap, if Wannabe shows up, obviously Wannabe, Yusuf, Falcon, Koodle. Those are the main ones.
Basically the entire team.
Yeah, basically the entire team. That's kind of how it is.
As long as they don't get tilted, they have potential to do really good. Same thing with Newt News and fucking Kaigo though, so same thing.
And I would ask who you guys think the potential stars for the Flush versus Flock game are, but I know damn well that Zero and Eden are just gonna say no one on Flock is worrisome at all. So
hey, I'll give you some worrisome ones. Okay, so Flock, they need to watch out for Fordle. They're feeding main tank. If they can get him to not feed, they have a chance to maybe take like. Nah, I wouldn't even say map. Just watch out for Fordle.
Dude.
You want to keep him under wraps, okay?
Be careful for the bitch field, okay? That's all I gotta say.
For us, say basically our whole team. Yeah, and Flock, just Fordle. Don't let him in.
I mean, honestly, I will agree that like the entirety of Flush right now, your starting lineup is pretty scary. So it's hard to narrow one person down. But in terms
even our subs are scary, man. Like
yeah,
okay, actually,
all of our team is really good for sure.
After this
recording
the countdown, yeah, I'm gonna send you a picture of Bambi, dude. That kid will literally like destroy you with his thighs. Like goddamn. Maybe he's actually cracked out.
I'm not sure if I want to know, but I will give one person I can think of in particular on the Flock that actually has been a pretty standout. I don't know if they can stand up to their counterpart unflushed, but at the very least they've been one of the better performers on the Flock the entire season, and that's Akahep. He's been a pretty nutty flex support, especially since Meek just decided to not show up anymore. I don't know if like he just got benched for Akahep, or if Akahep just happened to take on the like next man up mentality, but he's been actually pretty solid. Like versing teams that aren't like the absolute best in advanced, he's been a big reason as to why the Flock have had such a good record this season. I don't know if he can stand up to Swift, but if anyone can on the Flock, it's probably gonna be him.
Yeah, Meek is gone, bro. I noticed a few days ago he wasn't in the League Zero Discord or nothing. He was just gone, so that's unlucky.
I think he might have for Valorant, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I was playing
Like
Valorant.
everyone knows.
I had him a couple days ago. Yeah, I think he's just gone.
I'm pretty sure I saw him tweet something. Yeah.
Yeah, no, ACAP's pretty good. I definitely think Swift is better, but yeah, ACAP's
like realistically speaking, like. I don't know if Peter can stand up to Plato. I don't really think Nero can stand up to Uzira. Ultra is obviously better than Fordle. Client is honestly just considerably better than Surf, although Surf is pretty good in terms of like being mid-table. He's like solid.
Yeah, he's good at feeding his brains out. That kid's trash.
He's not particularly good at eating like ultimates, I've noticed, but he's a pretty good assassin. Like he'll punish the backline if you ignore it.
About the only memorable moment for him is when he got like that 2K bomb against Easy Clap, and everybody thought he was good. Then you watch the Easy Clap video and you see, what's it called? Yusuf shattering the spawn.
Yeah, you see Yusuf fitting into the back line.
Yeah. So everybody's like, oh my god, Surf's insane! And then I'm like, no, Easy Clap's just trolling.
Wasn't Surf the one that got banned last season?
Yeah, he said some things to dividing.
Yeah, no, I thought,
Yeah.
I used to kind of like just not like Surf because of last season, but I mean, after like talking with him a couple times, he's actually pretty chill. Yeah, no, he's pretty chill.
He's not
and he's also
you think he is.
not bad. Yeah.
Anyways, that's all I've got. I managed to drag this out for like another 5 minutes, so thank you all for tuning into this. Thank you, 3, for showing up. You got any closing statements? I'll just go down the line. Eden, Client, you got anything?
If we go up 2-0 against Flock, I'm playing DPS.
Wait.
I'm sure Baz would love to play Hog in your stead.
No, it's fine. I'll play off tank. My diva's cracked.
Yeah. That should be okay. At least against Flock it'll work.
I'd like to give a shout out to our mental health coaches. We got Corey, Grace, Time, Soap Bubbles, Bun, Chegg, Colby,
Half of your health coaches
Canopy,
are banned.
Recto, Ducky, Nope 3, North, Calbo, Flair, Mohammed, Damien, Jishua, Northern, Glacial, Tiny Moo, Silver Star,
You can't
MK,
possibly fit all these people into
Pascal,
one Discord
Astra,
post.
Lux, Juice, Genie, Yellow God, Beast, Reborn, Chromed, Octo, Wiz, I hate him, Charm, Shermie, Dividing, and Flawless, and Pichu. So yeah, shout out to them.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Try and say that again with one breath. Please don't. You're gonna die.
Actually, fun fact, we actually reached the character limit for Discord, so we had to shorten it down to MHC. Yeah, we surpassed 2,000 characters, so
Oh
that
god.
was it. Also, shout out to our Academy team, Shanghai Solace. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, and once again, shout out to Follows for the bitch field. Appreciate it.
I'm sure he's enjoying that. I think he was in your Twitch chat last weekend.
Yeah, he's our bitch field coach.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Coach
Snowman, you got any
Especially
closing
coach
statements?
for a single comp.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, Snowman, you got any closing statements?
For the Flush people out there, will block how many points will they even take in the match, like in game?
I'll be surprised if they take a point of control. That's about it.
Actually, probably take a point of us after we stroll.
No. If they can even like cap with if they can get percentage on a point of control, I'd be surprised. But besides that, nah. Like, I'm not trying to sound egotistical. I just hate Flock because of Peter. I just straight up hate him. Peter, you suck. Okay.
I'm not
I
gonna
don't
try
want to
to.
hear your bullshit.
I'm not trying to sound egotistical, but let me be egotistical for like 3 minutes.
Yeah. Hey, talk with Peter. I like Nero. He's cool. I want to talk World War II with him sometime.
Anyways, hope you all enjoyed this segment. Tried to drag it out a little bit longer, make it more than like 10 minutes long. Tune in for the weekly segment. I'm going to do a brief little scripted segment analyzing exactly how Rio couldn't manage to take a win. Ridecoast did a really in-depth VOD analysis that's like myself dividing, Zach were on, but Ridecoast did most of the analyzing, we were just memeing. So if you want a really in-depth analysis, I'd watch Ridecoast's video on the community showcase playlist in the YouTube, but this will be a short thing, summarizing the points for people who don't want to watch a 40-minute VOD review. But anyways, thank you all for watching this one. Tune in for the weekly segment if you care. And until then, don't die.
Fangs down.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the weekly segment. This week I wanted to give a little bit of analysis to a rather unprecedented event that happened as of this past weekend. Unfortunately, I really wasn't looking forward to putting this one together. I am, of course, talking about the fact that Rio has become the first team to ever go winless throughout the entire season, bowing out of the Novice Quarterfinals with an overall record of 0-11. Now, thankfully enough, one of our analysts in the production crew, Ridecoast, did most of the work for me in the giant VOD review he did of Kings Row in Rio's quarterfinal match against Geometric. Of course, I didn't want to just rip his entire 40-minute segment to put at the end of the podcast, despite how tempting it would be to be that lazy. So, what I'd like to do instead is to take the major points Ridecoast discussed and condense them down to just a few minutes. So here goes something. Despite their record, I wouldn't say that any of Rio's players were hopeless. This is also ignoring the fact that we figured out after the fact that Chaos was smurfing and is actually a low diamond main tank player, but that's besides the point. The individuals on Rio absolutely had their moments from time to time, ATZ probably being the biggest name to come to mind. I mean, the dude got Novice Hitscan DPS Rollstar for a reason, and he's cracked when he starts finding his groove. Unfortunately, while a single Widowmaker hitting her shots can carry your matches in comp, winning games in a community league like ours is something else entirely. You might be able to cheese your way to a few wins early on in the season when no one's managed to work out enough synergy to combat good mechanics, but by the time mid-season kicks in, that alone won't get you to the finish line. And sure enough, Rio never truly looked coordinated. At one point during the VOD review, Ridecoast pointed out how Rio would sometimes come into a map looking like they had a strategy, and actually come out of a fight looking pretty good when everything works as intended. The problem was that if their enemy rolled out on anything off-meta, the plan would crumble apart and Rio would go back to relying on solo carry plays. Of course, this wouldn't work, especially not with some of the extreme amount of coordination some Novice teams had by the end of the season, and they'd fail to close out a series. Lack of strategy is one thing, but from watching their VODs quite a bit, by this point I'd have to guess that Rio also lacked a specific shot caller during games. Granted, I don't know this for certain, as I haven't tried to verify this with the team themselves, and I'm sure they'll have more to say on this once we start gathering information for the season reviews later on. I know some of the evidence staff at proving Chaos was also a smurf, did show that she tried to be the in-game leader for them at times, though to what degree and how good she was at it, I can't really say. What I can say is that it was extremely often that Rio's tanks would just meander in a choke point or a sightline, taking tons of unnecessary damage that wouldn't get healed up in time, leaving them to get separated or staggered in the process. You can see this particularly well in the VOD review when Geo decided to run a Bastion on attack. Rio kept skipping back and forth, not particularly sure if they wanted to pile drive straight into the stationary turret, pelting them, or back around the corner and give some space to poke. Either one of those options are technically valid depending on how you play them, but neither choice was ever fully committed to. Of course, this could also be a case of too many people trying to shot call and everyone getting mixed messages on what to do, but again, I have no real way to confirm this theory at the moment. At the very least, I can say with certainty that Rio was indecisive for whatever reason. I'm sure there are a few of you who are also thinking that the individual game sense of Rio's players when trying to think of why they couldn't nab a win throughout the season, the now infamous clip of Empty probably still haunts his mind. To be honest though, these kinds of misplays weren't consistent enough for me to want to blame everything on just that. Could they have been coached more diligently or with a different method than the one they got? Probably, though, like I said before, I think given the more vocal members of the team, lessons in how to properly shot call would have gone a lot further towards their match differential. And the final major contributor I'd like to theorize for this segment would have to be Rio's mentality. The first few weeks of losses you can chalk up to just unlucky matchups, as even back then everyone was saying that Rio had what it took to not go winless. Over time, however, those losses started to take a toll on teams that don't have a strong constitution. Eventually you start believing that you are in fact hopeless, and from there it's practically impossible to get anywhere without a big wake-up call. I'd hazard to guess to say that a lot of Rio's players just felt demoralized and probably prioritized having fun over winning by the time they entered the lobby for the quarterfinals. But of course this is all just my theory crafting based mostly on the VOD review Ridecoast did earlier this week. Also go check that out if you want some good analysis piled on top of a ton of memes from myself, Dividing, and Zach. We barely contributed to the discussion in that video, but it was funny at the very least. I'll have the link to that in the top right corner of this video, so go check it out. Anyways, that's all I've got. Better luck towards breaking the curse of the quarterfinals next season, Rio. I know you've got a lot of people cheering you on. The entire server is going to explode if they ever make it to the semis, even, I swear. But that's a topic to worry about for another time. So I hope you enjoyed this brief segment. Good luck to all the teams duking it out in the semifinals this weekend, and until next time, don't die.